Seems at the time it will be just the ones. And even I used to be innocent once. I couldn't wait, get us out of this place before once becomes once in a while. Soon it's a race, it's a rush and a high. Steal and embrace, it starts with one little lie. Try once again to redefine now and then before once becomes once in a while.
Buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work to work.
Welcome to Yellow Brick Road. I'm Jordan, and today, more fun, more politics. You know, it's a fun thing. It's entertaining, bro. Let's watch the world burn together. It's entertainment, peak entertainment. Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna cover Jimmy Dore and Matt Taibbi talking about Trump crackdowns on free speech. I assume they're talking about college campuses, but first, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Do it! Thank you. All right, so as we know, Trump, the thing he promised already, or the thing he was trying to accomplish, maybe he did for a little bit in his first term, where I guess people are now surprised that this is happening now. He already went for that during his first term as president, which was crack down on quote-unquote anti-Semitism on college campuses. That's been a thing. He tried to get it done. He had Alan Dershowitz get on a stage or get at a podium and argue on Trump's behalf in regards to this as well. And let's be real, it's not for American people. Let's just be honest. As some of the people are calling out, like you can protest America, but you can't protest Israel somehow. You know, it is what it is. Like, for me personally, I don't try to fucking hunker down on the whole Israel thing so hard, because it's like we're supposed to be. I would hope that the idea would be to get rid of corruption wherever it is, in whatever shape, form, fashion it takes. But I get there's a bit of an appeal to Israel because, let's be real, they've been getting away with shit for a long time. That government has been getting away with shit for a long fucking time. They're still getting away with shit as I'm talking right now. I mean, like, and I'm not saying like little, misdemeanors. I mean, straight up, we kill motherfuckers. Children, men, women, starvation, war crimes, international crimes, financial crimes, all of it. And they just seem to keep on going. They just get away with it. So does the U.S., by the way. They get away with it, too. And I see that's why a lot of people get major upset when it comes to Israel. Some go a little too far, in my opinion, but, stupid is, stupid does. It's the world we fucking live in, bro. There's always a dope around every corner, bro. But yeah. This was already part of Trump's idea. He's just actually doing it now, right? He's like, yeah, I'm actually just gonna fucking take funding from schools, even if the school is fucking trying to, like, hey, look, we're shaming these students for doing it. Like, we're saying, no, don't do this, students. We're standing up to anti-Semitism. We're cracking down on students ourselves. Trump's like, I don't give a shit. You're letting it happen. I'm taking away funding. But I ain't bluffing. And yeah, it's pissing people off. So let's hear this. Let's hear if Matt Taibbi does what he does in the golden age of journalism, which I didn't get to hear in that video. I didn't hear any aspects of golden age of journalism at all. But hey, maybe it comes up here because that's a little bit of a parallel there of golden age of journalism. Trump cracks down on free speech. Like, I don't know how you, a little weird. But anyways, let's just play the video. Here's Jimmy Dore and Matt Taibbi.
So Donald Trump made a big stink last night about how he brought free speech back to America. Now, what I say about free speech is that, I don't think Elon Musk is a free speech warrior.
But
I
the
don't
Twitter
think so.
files.
I think he's happy to suppress when he has to for his own interests, right? But it's not as bad as it was, right? So that's what I say for people like me who wanted to tell the truth about COVID. I was allowed to tell the truth about COVID. I was allowed to tell the truth about Syria. I was
Once again, why do we add caveats like that? You know, those are like if Elon wanted to like just make a compilation of Jimmy Dore fucking saying things, making him look good, he could do it. Like I'm just saying, bro. Like, well, it's better. It's like, is it? Once again, that's that trolley car experiment. Like, just kill five or kill five to save one, or save one to kill five. Like, well, most people would be like, oh, we'll save the five and kill the one. They'll hesitate to do it. Like, oh, it's kind of bad, but whatever, I'll do it. Sacrifices are needed, right? But it's like, I don't know. It's this weird thing where, like, for me personally, psychologically, it's just like, if you fuck up, if you get like, oh, I've expanded free speech on my platform. I've expanded free speech, except for these guys, and it's like, well, if he takes out, I don't care if he takes one person down because he's bad mouthing him, or he says the wrong thing out loud, or if he does it to 5 million people. Like, to me, it's like, oh, you shouldn't be here, dude. Like, can you quit? Is there a chance you can quit? By any? Is there any way you can quit, Elon? That's my mentality, man. Because I see people do this with actual people dying. By the way, where it's like, well, it's it could have been 10 children, but it's only 5. It's like, huh? I've heard Jimmy say one less concentration camp, talking about Barack Obama, and it's like. So using these terms, like, it's better. Like, is it better? Don't these things have unforeseen consequences that play out later? Could he set rules in place now that he doesn't use yet? Maybe he uses on a couple of them, but you're like, oh, it's only a couple people, though. That's not like what was happening before on Twitter. And then one day where enough people say the wrong shit, he's like, fuck it, gloves off. We're already in power. Fuck it, gloves off. I'm going to start nuking fucking accounts. It's like, hey, guess what? My shit would be flawless off rip, Jimmy Dore. Like, what do you want from me? I'd pull that shit off overnight. No big deal. Like, hey, it's not an effort for me to not shoot a child in the face. It doesn't take a lot of effort to do that. So I'm like, I don't understand the excuse. I don't know why we need to do that, but all right, fair enough. Yeah, Jimmy.
free speech warrior. I don't think so. I think he's happy to suppress when he has to for his own interests, right? But it's not as bad as it was.
But that
right?
means
so that's
better.
why I say for people like me who wanted to tell the truth about COVID, I was allowed to tell the truth about COVID.
You didn't want to till Joe Rogan was yapping it. Then you started going, that doesn't sound like some courageous thing, by the way. But he's gonna market off of that, just like Elon's gonna market off of Doge. Look at all the cuts we're cutting. Look at all the programs we're cutting that are useless spending. And it's like, are these fools just in a market of marketing itself? Like, is that the thing? Bill Hicks would be ashamed, Jimmy. All right.
I was allowed to tell the truth about Syria. I was allowed to tell the truth about Ukraine. So it was a big deal for me. But no, I don't. In fact, Steve Bannon was on the show and he made the same point. He's not he's a tech. He wants to be a tech overlord. He doesn't really care about free speech. But Donald
Steve Bannon changed his opinion on that, I think. Anyways.
Trump, he wants to be a tech overlord. He doesn't really care about free speech. But Donald Trump is convinced people that they're for free speech because they're for certain speech, right? But here's the bad part. He put this out, I think, yesterday. He said all federal funding will stop for any college, school, or university that allows illegal protest. Agitators will be imprisoned or permanently sent back to the country from which they came. American students will be permanently expelled or, depending on the crime, arrested. No masks. So you're not allowed to wear a mask, so they can now digitally identify you and put you in a database. Thank you for your attention to this matter, which sounds very scary. In fact, what this is a response to is, him being everybody in government, including Donald Trump. The way he talked to Zelensky is the way a lot of MAGA wants him to talk to Netanyahu. So this is all about his subservience to Adelson. It's about his subservience to Israel. And so this
The
organization,
dead
Fire
Adelson
Org,
or the wife?
we defend and promote free speech for all Americans in our courtrooms, on campuses, in our culture. They had a couple of tweets about it.
I just want to say, like, there's a what was there the story of one of these kids or young adults being arrested, and I think they're trying. The last I heard, they don't know where the fuck he is. What was his name? He sounded like a linebacker, like Mahmoud Khalil might be the guy's name. I could be fucking that up. Forgive me. Or this guy he didn't have a visa. He had a green card, which would make you, like, that's way different than some sort of temporary visa thing. It's like you're basically a citizen if you have a green card, as far as and they're like, fuck it, we're gonna disappear this guy anyways. That could have been cleared up, and I just didn't hear about it yet. But yeah, it's almost like they're overstepping allegedly for a foreign country. Although I think they have their own interest in all these things. They're just working together, it's good teamwork, to treat humanity like shit, unless you're one of them. Anyways, here we go.
And they say the First Amendment protects controversial political speech. We don't use the law to punish dissenters. Instead, as a nation, we have chosen a different course to protect even hurtful speech on public issues to ensure that we do not stifle public debate. They go on to say, as Fire knows all too well from our work defending students and faculty rights under the Obama and Biden administrations, threatening schools with the loss of federal funding will result in a crackdown on lawful speech. Schools will censor first and ask questions later. Today's message will cast an impermeable chill on students' protests about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, paired with President Trump's 2019 executive order adopting an unconstitutional definition of anti-Semitism and his January order threatening to deport international students for engaging in protected expression. Students will rationally fear punishment for wholly protected political speech. Now,
Isn't that interesting? Somehow, this guy was president for 4 years, right? And then amidst his term, which he, once again, he did this with Antifa as well. As far as like writing these little executive order legislation, whatever the fuck it is called, kind of, you're kind of setting the table, and then magically, years later, he fulfills the thing he started. It's like, come on, guys. Do you need any more proof of any of this shit? That, like, from one presidency to the next, or even this guy had a 4-year gap. It all carries over to whoever the next president is, and they end up using it against people, bro. That's what it seems like. Biden could have did something about that, right? Maybe. But then again, like when Trump killed Soleimani, he used the Bush, the Bush, what's his name? Dick Cheney, propaganda. Like, so these guys, they just keep playing off of each other's shit. Hey, Trump, what does he do? He, allows for lethal aid to be sent to Ukraine. I didn't give him much, but I'm now allowing lethal aid to be sent there. And then NATO starts giving them lethal aid as well. And then Biden comes in and just absolutely balloons the amount of shit sent over there, right? And then Trump comes back in and threatens to take it away. The very thing he started. He threatens to take away, like, give me your minerals and shit, or no weapons and money. And we'll let Russia run over you, somewhat, even though I don't think Russia wants to go that far. I don't think they want to go that far because they want to be able to make a deal and get all their pipelines. But I mean, hey man, I'm saying, like, Trump sanctioning the shit out of Russia and destroying pipelines and all that shit. You don't think that led to the conflict as well? Like, these guys just fucking play baton. They like track runners. They pass the baton to each other. It's seemingly over and over and over again. Some things are different for sure, obviously, but a lot of times in the things that we consider like major news stories, these fools are just passing policy down to each other and using it. The little things that George Bush was doing with the war on terror, right, and all the legislation that was passed through along with Congress that allowed the president to do all this wild shit around the world. Each one of the following presidents have used it. They have used it to stir up conflicts, to continue conflicts, even to end the conflict. Well, not even end the conflict, right? It was like, oh, Obama made all the propaganda and the CIA funding and all that shit in Syria. Trump continues it. Biden continues it. Syria falls. Trump doesn't say, he keeps his fucking mouth shut. Just watches it happen like he had nothing to do with it. And it's like it's just cowardly and like cringy. But people worship this orange penguin for some reason, like, and he can do no harm at all, apparently, unless it's Epstein. Then he fucked up. Anyways, like these things, like it's just continuations of each other. It really seems that way. And Jimmy Dore felt the need to say before Trump got elected, right? For some reason, that's why it looks so weird now. Actually, it looks extra weird here, Jimmy, because before he got elected, it seemed like you were saying things like he's to the left of Biden and all that shit like that. Or maybe he's more anti-war than Biden. And now you have to come in here and clean up your mess. You'd be like, well, all right, he sucks too. And I don't even think he's gone that far yet. I'm waiting for him to go that far, but anyways, here we go.
We already talked about at the top of the show, Matt. About,
again, someone can correct me on that. I don't know about
exposing the censor
Jimmy's catalog
industrial complex, the censorship
that.
industrial complex, and you're very sensitive to this because you're a leading journalist, and you've had the IRS try to intimidate you into not saying certain things, and I've been censored. I've been, my own tax dollars have been used to sponsor Vox Ukraine media, which did hit pieces on me to try to get me demonetized and kicked off YouTube. So I'm sensitive to that. And so
demonetized?
So Trump might want to
demonetized, you say? Oh, the fighter of freedoms get demonetized. Oh man. Oh boy, Jimmy.
YouTube. So I'm sensitive to that. And so Trump might want to protect certain speech, but now he's doing this, which is just the opposite. And so you being sensitive to something like this, how would you respond to it?
Hold on, real quick. Because he's saying protect speech, right? Like Trump wants to protect certain speech. I want to see that in action. Like, what does that look like? Because the thing where he's taking away speech, it seems like you have a lot of details on it, like blatant details of him taking away speech. So what's the protections of speech?
The fullness.
Like, where's the detailed analysis of like, look, here's the thing in writing. Here's all the protections of free speech. Because I did a video where I made like a clickbait troll title where it's like, oh, Trump is the best president ever at free speech or whatever the fuck the title was, something like that. And I play something he said in like 2019, I think, where he's like, we need to protect freedom of speech at college campuses, yada, 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 right? It was for, like, the shit Jordan Peterson and Eric Weinstein and, Steven Crowder, like, those Ben Shapiro, those guys are complaining about. Like, oh, the far leftists, if you don't say Z-Zim, her, Z-Y, then if you don't use their pronouns, you'll get banned, right? And then in that same term, he also said, yeah, we're going to be taking away federal funding if you protest Israel. So it's like, I don't know. The other one I didn't seem to get too many details on. Like, I didn't see the details of that executive order, but the one where he's like taking shit away, I've seen plenty of fucking detail on that, which is crazy. But I don't know. Maybe Trump did something free speech wise for Jimmy. An executive order. You cannot block certain speech on Twitter now, unless it's X, Y, and Z. Is like, Okay. What this XYZ could be, used on anything, right? But free speech. Anyways, here we go.
And so, you being sensitive to something like this, how would you respond to it?
Well, I'm against it. I mean, when he
Oh, good job, Matt.
when he signed the executive order, and then there was the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act that got passed last year, and then this thing
Last
this
year.
year, which is really just an extension of that. It's
Matt literally just said one presidency to the next, like a baton in track and field, just passed down from one to the next. But here we go.
that got passed last year, and then this
That's under
thing
Biden.
This year, which is really
That's
just
Trump.
an extension of that.
Those guys hate each other, though.
It's, to me, a clear First Amendment issue. Normally what they would do, right? Like if you wanted to be a really aggressive about Palestinian protesters and stay within the letter of the law, you wouldn't say that we're throwing you out of the country because of your protests, right? They would round people up who had committed crimes, and then they would deport them, which is what they're doing in other areas. But you can't say that you're doing it for that reason. I think the Trump, by doing this, is making a huge political mistake, or a potentially huge one. The Democrats have
A huge political mistake. He's the president, right? And he already served his other term. So like, this is his last hurrah. Why the fuck would he care what you think about his? Maybe means it's someone else, but then again, like, I'm sure Trump is well aware. Like, even if there's some other MAGA teammate, right, his Vance or his son Donald Trump Jr., whatever the fuck, he already knows people will erase their memories and be like, well, maybe he's different than Trump. If say Trump does a bad job politically during these next 4 years, Trump and his team and his teammates are well aware that they could just be like, well, he's different than Trump. He's different. And, like, Donald has made some mistakes. I'm here to fix the mistakes. Vote for me. And there are plenty of people that will do it. Trump's aware of that. So why not on your last hurrah, YOLO, bro? Just start fucking shit up. Like, mask off, fuck shit up. Why not? It hurts them politically. When the fuck have they ever cared? Like, shooting 59 Tomahawk missiles into Syria is bad politically. It looks bad as far as, well, maybe not to the mainstream, but for all the independent media guys they're like, oh man, Trump's different. And they see those missiles start flying. They're like, oh fuck, he isn't different. He's one of them. He did all that, but yet he came back, ran again, like he didn't do anything in his first 4 terms. And forgive me, but I think these guys are kind of part of that. The fucking, even Jimmy says this word, doesn't he? Like, collective amnesia. Is that him that says that? Whoever says it, whatever. And it's like, I don't know. For some reason, yelling that Trump is to the left of Biden to a quote unquote lefty audience is just bizarre to me to say. And I think Jimmy was saying that before he got elected. And it's like, well, now these guys are going to get away with it, right? When they get into office.
Biden on that. Not just Biden, the Democrats.
There you go. And it's like, yeah, well, Jimmy, now he's in office, and he already served 1 term. This is his last term. He might say, fuck it, like, why the fuck do I need to campaign anymore? Or like, or why do I need to, tailor my policies? I can just do it. Although I do think they still campaign. I do think they, like, when he gets out of office, he still wants a comfortable, lounge chair. He doesn't want to have to, like, hide in the shadows like George Bush and Dick Cheney had to, right? He probably wants to. So he's still going to market. He's still going to do his marketing thing. And it feels like these guys will let him get away with it also, but, he has no reason to listen to you, Jimmy, at all. There's no reason to. But here we go.
Political mistake that you're doing it for that reason. I think the Trump, by doing this, is making a huge political mistake, or a potentially huge one.
It's
The
corruption, right?
Democrats have gifted the First Amendment to the Republicans
Yes.
for a generation, really. I mean, like they were so bad on this issue that they could run on this forever. All they have to do is just show basic respect for the institution, and this is, it's clearly not in the spirit of the First Amendment. You have organizations like FIRE that.
Can you call it corruption yet, Matt Taibbi? I'm fucking waiting, bro. Can you call it corruption? Just please, pretty please.
Not yet.
Throw the possibility that it's corrupt out there. Like, this could be corrupt. This could be like, money deals. It could be geopolitical corruption. It could be. Can we get just a little hint at it, Matt Taibbi, please?
He needs more evidence. He needs more evidence.
Got it.
Is it's clearly not in the spirit of the First Amendment. You have organizations like
not in the spirit
FIRE
of it.
that I think fought very bravely for speech when the ACLU wouldn't, and they're now turning on Trump. That's not what they want. I think they have to be more cognizant of what they have here. I think JD Vance is somebody who understands the speech issue and is more instinctively in tune with it.
Can't take your word for it, Matt.
This is weird, is it not? He's like looking for the positive. Like, well, JD Vance is much better on this, and when Trump's out of office, maybe that's the guy we go to, or the guy. Not he won't say we. It's the guy you guys should go for. Is that not like blatantly corruption? Like, yo, you can't protest this country, and and while also shoveling billions of dollars to their country at the same time. Isn't that fucking bizarre, bro?
Yep.
And he can't in his heart call it corruption. He's like, this looks bad on the First Amendment territory. It looks bad in regards to that. It's like, looks bad. It's like, it's wrong. Call it wrong. Like, yo, this is wrong. Do you believe it's wrong, Matt Taibbi? If you did it yourself, would you feel guilty about it? Like, damn, this is not right. And there you go. You have your fucking answer. Fuck my morality. What about yours? Is this okay with you if you did it? Holy shit. It's bad politically, and Jimmy should bite his fucking head off right now. Pause. But, friend, it's my friend. I can't do it. He's my friend. I can't do it. I had dinner with him. I can't do it. God damn.
Somebody who understands the speech issue and is more instinctively in tune with it.
Yeah, thank you for Vance.
But they have a blind spot about this one issue, and
it's a blind spot.
It's unfortunate.
The problem,
a blind spot that was here in the first 4 years of his presidency. Did no one clear up that blind spot back then? This is the same shit people were doing with Obama. Well, and the way what he did with Iraq and what he did with Afghanistan and Sudan and Somalia and Syria, those were mistakes he made. Like, are those mistakes? They just keep going and going. How is that a fucking mistake at that point? As opposed to, like, this is part of the plan. This is a part of my plan. I'm doing this on purpose. This is not. I'm not blind to it. I'm doing it on purpose. You dumb fuck. How does he? Jimmy should be wrecked. He should be wrecked right now. Like, what? Blind spot.
Jimmy's with it.
Wrecked. Nah, Jimmy's got to wreck this. He just looks like it's because they're having a cordial conversation and there isn't a third voice in there. Be like, yo, what the fuck did you say, man? Hey, yo, Jimmy, you got nothing for that? Like, because that's not happening, he may walk away PR wise looking okay. But in reality, when you have open eyes and a critical mind and you're looking at this, like, yo, Jimmy, what the fuck? Trump accidentally funded these moderate rebels in Syria by accident. It's a blind spot he has. Obama's like, you're not going to give me that luxury? What the fuck? I did the same thing he did, but you guys are praise. You guys are giving him like, oh, he has a blind spot, but you're saying I'm the most corrupt, evil person on planet Earth when I do it. What the fuck, man? You guys are racist, bro. Y'all are racist. Pull up your damn pants and get out of my face. Like, it's like, what do you do with that? Because that same thing with, I've argued with Trump fans. Like, yo, he didn't start any new wars. Like, well, this doesn't count, this doesn't count, and this doesn't count. Like, no, it doesn't count. He didn't start it. So then Obama didn't start any new wars either. They get wrecked for a couple of minutes. Like, yeah, he did. It's like, but they're doing the same things. I don't get it. So it's just hypocrite. I don't understand the purpose of it either. At least with Matt Taibbi, I could at least make up an idea in my head, like, oh, maybe he's getting paid. Maybe Elon's dicking him on the side or something. I don't know. But some of these fans, I got nothing. I'm like, damn, what is this? Unpaid dick licking you guys are doing. Like, what's the point? What do you get out of this? Is it hope?
Oh, fuck.
Pause. What does Corbett call it? Hopium? Is that the benefit? Hopium, I guess. Like feeling like there's something good happening when maybe there isn't. But whatever. Here we go.
Doing with it. But they have a blind spot
It's a
about
blind
this one
spot, man.
issue, and that's unfortunate.
The problem
because-
the problem is, Matt, is that the Democrats agree with him.
Oh,
Right,
Democrats!
that's
Oh,
the
shit!
problem. Like
Oh,
the reason that you're not
fucking Democrats.
They tried to give me the virus.
Democrats pivoted on cue. He pivots to the other. Like, well, they let him get away with it. Oh fuck! I knew he was a maniac, a psychopath, a killer, a corrupt, evil person,
Right.
and
No,
the Democrats
I
let
got
him get
this
away
one.
with it.
It's like, hey Jimmy, the Democrats let him get away with committing an ethnic cleansing in Palestine too. What do you got to say about that? Crickets. Crickets. Nothing to say. Won't even tell his audience about it.
In fact,
Doesn't want the negative backlash from the newly found right wing fan base he has about that shit.
like, I mean, let's be real. He's been ranting and raving about the squad for not supporting some policy or some strategy that he was into, right? Okay, I kind of understand it. Like, forced to vote? What the fuck? You didn't force to vote? That means you're corrupt. And he starts talking about the squad and all these people, right? But guess what? They're the only ones giving at least lip service to the idea of like, hey, this shit we're doing with Israel shit, like, it's fucked up. Why are we funding these corrupt guys? Oh, AIPAC is trying to like fucking lobby and take over Congress, right? Some of them said that, right? I think Rashida Tlaib is Palestinian, right? She's
Yeah, two of the squad members, well, they're like squad adjacent. They got kicked out by AIPAC. Jamal Bowman in New York and Corey Bush,
yeah.
Missouri. They both got kicked out by like people that took money from AIPAC to beat them.
Now, the idea that they're all corrupt, they all do fucked up shit. I'm kind of in agreement there, but that's not what I've been hearing from Jimmy.
No,
That's not what I'm hearing, bro.
I'm hearing strategy.
Strategy for what end is the question.
Well, he likes his comedy tours to be full. You know what I mean? He likes all the seats filled. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm never going on. I'm never jumping off that fucking bridge, bro. He's comedy first. Whatever helps his comedic career, his touring career, is what he's gonna do. If him talking about COVID at a certain point, like, yo, fuck you, we ain't going to your shows, he stopped talking about it. I swear to God. If that shit started like hurting his tour, like literally like anecdotally, I ain't going to your shit because you're talking about COVID all the time. Shit's over with. He would stop talking about that shit tomorrow. Fuck tomorrow, today, right now. Like, fuck. He's like, fuck all that shit. We're done with that. Get over it. You guys keep talking about that shit.
Jimmy, I can't get in Anthony's way. What do you want me to do? I'm not getting in the way of that. His opinion, the opinion Anthony just said, it always all I've seen is it legitimized in front of my eyes. That's all. Like I can see you doing that, and I can't get in Anthony's way when he says this. Now my opinion is maybe this is a weird blind hope. It's like, oh, you're doing it for strategy to get Trump voters to see, like, oh, look, you got, like, look, Trump. I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. Come follow me over here, please. All right, guys. Now that we realize I don't have Trump derangement syndrome, let's vote for Medicare for all, right? Or let's vote for this candidate or that candidate or whatever, right? He's doing it for political strategy, which I also think is, let's be real, empty and gross.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying, why would he? You got to think about it logically. Why would he do something politically for strategy to raise awareness? If at the end of the day, when they come to him with real fucking topics, he ain't there. He's drinking Negronis in the back. His wife's listening to the fucking super chat. He don't give a shit what they got to say. And like, let's be, it's like he's making inroads with certain channels that are gonna get him a windfall of people to support him in various ways. Just like TYT's doing this. TYT's copying him. I'm like, yo, and he copied Dave Root. Like, yo, these guys are raking it in, bro. And Jimmy, like the thing with Jimmy's a piece of shit because he's still saying, I'm a lefty out here on the left. Like that's fucking crazy, bro. But do your thing, bro. I mean, I'm no fucking Paul Bear for the left, so I don't give a shit. I ain't out here. I'm not a fucking prisoner to labels.
Thank God.
But
Well,
I see
this is trash, man.
the game being played, bro.
Fair enough. I got nothing, Jimmy.
I peep game, bro.
I got nothing, Jimmy.
Peep game a long time. I hear this guy's one of the last times I heard him on Joe Rogan. It was like 2022 or something. Or like 2021. I hear this in his voice. He's like, "Yo, I was backstage with Jay." I'm like, "Yo, that's where this dude's heart's at." I heard his fucking voice. I'm like, "That's where his heart's at." His heart's in the notoriety of being a comedian. Fuck this political shit. That shit's just a game for him. Like he goes to these rallies with RFK, all this, like all that shit is to funnel the energy into his comedy. He's a comedian.
You saw the Rogan model.
Yeah, he's a comedian, bro. Like, yo, Shane Gillis ain't doing this creepy shit he's doing. Like, there's levels to this shit. Yo, Shane Gillis is funnier than you too. Sorry, off cuff. Yo, Shane, yo, what's good? Like, just tell me about your day. He's gonna fucking make me laugh. You're not gonna do that. Just tell me tell me what's going on. He's gonna say two or three things. I'm like, yo, this guy's fucking hilarious. Jimmy, he can't get his wife to laugh at his fucking jokes.
Ah, low blow, Anthony. How dare you?
I don't give a fuck, bro. She has like 3 levels of laughs, and they're all dry and shit.
Hey, let's bring it back. We're going in the gossip land. God damn it! It is hilarious.
Okay.
Very good.
I'm just reading the tea leaves.
Let's hear some more tea leaves.
Like, where's his fans at? Yo, come shit talking, bro. Where's your fans at?
All right, here we go. Here's more. Matt Taibbi. Matt Taibbi, bro. There's no T there, bro. Low on T. Here we go.
Oh shit.
Doing with it. But they have a blind spot about this one issue, and
Blind spot. Correct.
that's unfortunate.
You know, the problem is, Matt, is
The
that
Democrats-
the Democrats agree with him.
Well, right. I was about to say that.
Which ones agree? Which ones don't?
The reason that you're not going to get pushback from the other side on this is, you watch that 60 Minutes segment. Those exact same
Is that even true? There's no way Ilhan Omar is in agreement with that. There's no chance, right? where she's like, you should, take federal funding from schools if they protest Israel. There's no fucking chance, right?
Yeah,
AOC can't say that, right? There's no chance she could say that.
she can, bro.
She
They're
did?
not gonna. No, I don't think they're gonna say anything. To be honest.
I'm looking it up. There's no fucking chance. For sure, those fools push back on to some level. That's no fucking chance. Oh, I can't even read this shit, can I? Fuck you,
In
New York
Rochester,
Times.
that's Elon Omar put a basket on her head and walked back to where she came from. That's the headline.
Let's see this.
See what?
Okay. Ilhan Omar, right? That's her, I assume.
Yeah.
Utterly outrageous. This is un-American. The forced disappearance of Mahmoud Khalil for nothing more than constitutionally protected speech is a clear assault to our First Amendment rights and a blatant act of authoritarianism. Khalil must be released. That's the guy we're talking about. The guy with the green card who's being threatened to be like kicked out of the
Yeah.
country.
He's arrested right now, right? Or he got released?
I guess he's
Trump arrested him. Well, not Trump.
yeah, but
Police
they're gonna say
arrested.
something, right? They have to, even if they're bullshit artists and it's just their they're just trying to please their constituency to get voted in again. Even if they still have to say something, they have to. There's no way around it. So I think there are Democrats pushing back, Jimmy. You just don't want them to be seen in a good light, which is weird, right? Especially when you put Trump in good light on different moments, right? Which makes me think, well, it could be like you said. I can't get in your way, Anthony. He's pandering to a certain base, maybe for his comedy career, maybe for financial reasons, whatever. Or
Well, yeah, they're one and the same to me.
well, he can't make a video like, look, these are the only ones standing up to Trump's anti-free speech policy, and he points out
Dude,
the
let's
squad.
be honest.
He can't do that, right?
Let's be honest. What you just described, he's not making that video for fuck the topic. It don't matter. He will not make a video like that.
But why would he do that for Trump though? If
Huh?
Trump has said in word, not in actuality, just in words, right? Of well, I don't even think he said it. He might have said it. Someone might be misquoting. I don't know, but he's like, oh, Trump might cut 50% of the military budget, right? Even though he took that, he said he didn't say that. That's what Trump's saying. I never said that. I would never do that.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be like, look what Trump said, as far as like giving him credit for something, right?
He will never just. Yeah, he's not gonna. He'll say like he's saying it like he's saying it now, mealy mouth. But not with the fervor of look what Joe Biden's doing. Look at Hunter Biden. Well, he ain't gonna do it like that. He's gonna do it in a way where he's gonna give a point of view, and he's gonna be very careful with his words in regards to what he's saying about Trump.
I'm just trying
There's
to be.
no fire. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no fire from Jimmy on that side.
I,
We gotta meet him where they're at. You've been saying that shit for fucking 8 years, bro. We gotta meet him where they're at.
I'm trying to be scientific about this, as in, if AOC ran for president and said all the right things that Jimmy considers to be the right thing, why would she be treated differently than Donald Trump? If Donald Trump says the right thing, why would he be like, look what Trump said in a positive light, and then ignore or dismiss AOC? It doesn't make sense, does it?
No,
Because guess who has a bigger track record of corruption? It's not. Guess what? It's Trump over AOC.
but there's this other aspect of he's also dipping his toes in the cultural shit, the DEI and all that shit, which is that's more weird to me than like like a policy or like a foreign policy or like a First Amendment shit. It's the cultural shit he's trying to tap into, which is the clearest form of
Correct.
pandering to me. That it's like, okay, this has nothing to do with policy or whatever. Like some of it does, but for the sake of this argument, it's more of an overarching topic. than it is just strictly writing up putting pen to a policy.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yo, why do you give a fuck about DEI, Jimmy? Well, but he was doing that shit with Cornell since then. So culturally, you could start to map out that this guy has shifted right in what we would call what the normies would call a right left paradigm. He shifted culturally right on a variety of topics. Remember, he was like pro my immigration. No, it's driving wages down. Get him out of here.
You don't think Americans can do these jobs, huh?
Yeah,
But that wasn't. I think that's still like a lefty idea he had, sentiment that he had for it. I think.
maybe. Yeah, I can understand the argument for that, but for other things,
Pro
like,
worker. Yeah.
like the DEI thing, I'm like, why do you care about the DEI?
All right, let's play this shit.
Are the ones that got Roger Waters in trouble, right? For advocating for Palestinians. Really what they just do is they define anybody who supports the Palestinian cause as being pro-Hamas or for advocating terrorism, and then it's any one of a dozen different laws that can come into play at that point. They went after all sorts of politicians in the UK for being quote unquote anti-Semitic, when really what they were doing was protesting the behavior of the Israeli government.
Okay.
Palestinians are often kind of the canary in the coal mine for speech offenses. Like, they're kind of the first people who they try out some new horrible tactic on because they have no lobby. But that's it. But you're absolutely right. There is nobody on the other side who's going to stand up and say you're really wrong about this.
So Caitlin.
Yeah, we did just see someone. But anyways, we know. So these guys know this guy's like corrupt to the core type shit. Seemingly, this Donald Trump guy. They're both aware of that. But yet, I hear it sounds so tacit to say these things for them. Like, it hurts their feelings to say this shit out loud or something.
Because
Weird.
Strategically, he's the lesser evil.
It's not though. He's not though.
He's not though. That's what they're gonna say, dude.
It's like one in one hand they're saying like, well, they were gonna do it. They were gonna force people to use pronouns, gender pronouns. Didn't happen though, right? And then on the other side, like, well, they actually are doing it now, forcing people to, like, you cannot protest Israel. We will take your money, funding, arrest you, kick you out of the fucking country. We will literally do it. I don't know, man. It's weird reactions to these things, in my opinion. All right. There we go. I'm rocked.
But that's it. But you're absolutely right. There is nobody on the other side who's going to stand up and say you're really wrong about this.
No,
So
we already saw
Caitlin
that.
Johnstone tweeted out. She said, "If you support freedom of speech, you now have an ethical obligation to oppose Israel, even if you didn't before. Western government support for Israel is the biggest threat to free speech in our society today. Civil rights are being stomped out throughout the Western world to protect Israel information interests." And
okay, whatever. Also, you're gonna help there. Like, at the end of the day, after his 4 years, and this shit keeps up, you're making the people that you call bad guys, AOC, Ilhan Omar, the Squad, Rashida Tlaib, those guys are gonna be the free speech ones now. Now they're the free speech advocates. Because guess what? They've already been doing on Twitter. If Elon's some sort of free speech activist guy that Jimmy says he doesn't believe in, but if they're branding him as that, like, well, he's banned people for this type of stuff too, shadow banning and outright banning of some accounts because of anti-Semitism or violent speech, right? So, are they going to now turn into that? The Squad, these type of people, are they going to turn into the free speech advocates that we were looking for the whole time? Because Jimmy can't switch sides now. It's too late. It's way too late. Because they didn't support my little policy. I said, force the vote. I said, force the vote. They didn't do it. So you know what? They're corrupt. They're bad. It's like, but if you're going to give credit for someone being on the right side of a policy, now would be the time for them, right? But Jimmy can't do that. He can't do it. It's bad branding for him now. All right.
Speech is
Sorry,
being
distractions.
suppressed in support of Israel more aggressively than with any other topic. We're not seeing this level of all-out warfare against free expression in any other area. So,
Yeah, I disagree with her about that, though.
how?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I mean, for instance, the Europe,
Whoa.
Israel is not. They're terrible in speech, right? They have been going back to 2015 to 2016. Glenn Greenwald did a story about how Facebook had to make a deal with the Mossad in order to operate in Israel, and how they abided by, I think it was 95% of their recommendations. But absolutely the most dangerous thing right now with speech is the European Union, which has already passed a law called the Digital Services Act, which is a comprehensive
This is
official
SJW.
censorship law that mandates that every platform abide by the recommendations of thousands of these credentialed content reviewers called trusted flaggers. They have to be in agreement with them, or else they suffer crippling penalties and go out of business. And that law is the model for what they want to impose everywhere in the world. They've done it pretty much everywhere in every Western democracy except the United States. And yes, Israel's bad, but Europe has already imposed the model for like a true dystopian kind of speech control.
Can someone tell Matt Taibbi that Israel didn't write this policy for, like, it's Trump doing it? It's his executive order. He tried to get it done in his first term and then like revamped it in this term. Can someone tell him that? I understand people are like, oh, he's controlled by Israel. I understand that point. It's just, I don't think he's that gonna. These guys are teammates. These guys work together on these things. Like, it is what it is. Like, they work together on these things. So, yeah, you know, whatever. We'll blame Israel. Forget Trump's doing it. They'll walk away clean. Here we go.
Like a true dystopian kind of speech control, that can be imposed at scale. So I'm more scared of that than I am of Israel, but I understand her position.
So the threat that Trump is making is that he will defund colleges of federal funds. And here's a brief video from Glenn Greenwald to explain why that's incorrect. That's an unconstitutional position. Let's listen. What is going on? Okay, here we go.
Universities, or there should be, that's
It's
independent
a recording
the
of someone
free
playing
speech
a
law,
video.
which is that once the federal government or any government decides to offer a benefit that's optional, it doesn't have to provide it, but it decides it's going to, it cannot then condition receipt of that benefit on you're expressing a particular view, you're affirming a particular view, or you're refraining from expressing a political view. And this is basic First Amendment doctrine. Yet all these people defending the Trump administration's attack on these universities for allowing anti-Israel protests are saying, oh, obviously it's not a First Amendment violation to deny federal funding of a university because the government doesn't have to provide funding to universities in the first place. It's true, the federal government doesn't have to provide funding to universities. But once it decides to do so, it cannot then punish the universities by withdrawing that funding only for universities that allow a particular view to be expressed or a particular type of protest to take place, and not any other. That is a clear violation of the First Amendment. There's so many court cases on this. There have been efforts, for example, to deny property tax exemptions to people who refuse to sign a vow saying they're not in favor of overthrowing the government of the United States, saying, oh, you only get a property tax exemption if you sign a no saying you don't support.
What's up?
Well, what they could do is just like firing someone. I don't have to give a reason to fire someone. I can just fire you. But if I say I fired you because you're a black person, then it becomes something that the person getting fired can sue me about.
Or if you can maybe create that narrative.
You could strip the school of whatever funding and just say, we're saving money for the government. We don't have to give you a reason. But if they give you a reason and the reason is this, It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but they could probably litigate something and once again go through evidence and be like, well, this school is going by the same exact standards as this school, except for this one thing. And if they have multiple cases of that, to where like these schools are operating the same ways except for this one thing, which is students protesting Israel. Let's say that, right? Like, and then every school that did allow that protest to happen, those got defunded, and the other ones didn't. I think that'd be enough evidence to be like, okay, you guys are taking away funding because of this. But also, let's be real, they put it in law as an executive order, right? Like it is in writing, right? Like we will stop funding school, and this will be our reason for it. They already said that, right? Basically.
I would, if I'm gonna go with a reason why I'm taking money from like Berkeley and Columbia, I would say it's because of the communist indoctrination. I wouldn't go with the Jewish issue. It's
Yeah,
the
but
BLM, that's the Antifa. But he is dumb and going with the Jewish issue, the Israel issue.
but that'd be the same problem if you took it away because they're communists. That'd still be the same problem.
No, communism is a crime in America. To be communist in America is a crime. It's on the fucking books. It's been established since the 50s.
We're in dumb land. I forgot. Let me get back to the video because I'm getting dumber hearing you talk about this. Here we go.
Support the overthrow of the United States government. But people who sign that loyalty pledge to the U.S. government will get property tax exemptions. Obviously, you don't have to provide the property tax exemptions, but the Supreme Court said once you do, you can't condition it on a loyalty with the United States government because that is a violation of free speech. There have been all kinds of other cases like that where there's funding to legal aid lawyers, and they try to say...
I couldn't hear you, dude. Oh, okay. That was Harrison, right?
Yeah.
And all the Jews and the Muslims back to Egypt. I mean, is that not so hard? That's where they originated from.
Oh, did you hear that an InfoWars journalist was murdered tonight?
By a rabid anti-Israel Palestinian Arab ISIS Muslim.
Are you just joking, or is that the story?
I had no idea what the story is. I just made a guess. It's a rabid
I have no idea.
left-leaning Democrat, hardcore AOC supporter, but also pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas, hates Israel, and hates freedom.
I thought you didn't laugh when people died.
I didn't laugh.
Oh, okay. You're just joking.
Don't mistake my comedy with insincerity. Anyways, here we go.
But you're the one that
If
says
you're a
don't
lawyer
laugh
and
at
challenge
death.
any welfare reform laws
Interesting.
in
I never said
American
that.
courts, you will be ineligible for receiving legal aid. The only lawyers who can get legal aid funding from the government are those who
Oh, Rex again.
support welfare reform or who
Never
stay
said that.
silent on about it. The court has
So
denied that is unconstitutional. There was an effort to say
then you're gonna
any news
come to
outlet,
the next.
I'd really like to
Ginsburg-
do this video
Ginsburg-
instead of
funding
arguing
has
with
to
you.
refrain from
So
support
You're
welfare
gonna do the
reform,
next
stay silent,
Ginsburg
receiving legal aid. The only lawyers who get legal aid funding from the
annual
government are those who-
celebration of her death.
I'd really like to do this video instead of arguing with you right now. Be honest with you. Just being blatantly honest, bro. Continue.
I don't care. I'm asking a question.
Oh, what's your
You
question?
coming? Are you gonna come to the
Pause.
annual celebration of Ginsburg's death?
The Supreme Court Justice lady?
Yeah.
Why would I celebrate
Yeah,
her
we've been
death?
celebrating every year. Celebrating every year.
Yeah, you're non-point. Well then, blah blah blah. No, diarrhea out your fucking mouth. Shut. Anyways, moving on.
Where
Oh,
there's
I'm just
funding to legal aid,
Showing you how you
lawyers,
contradict
and they try to
yourself.
say if you're a lawyer and you challenge any welfare reform laws in American courts, you will be
That was a
ineligible
poor attempt.
for receiving legal aid. The only lawyers who
for
get
you, that
legal
was
aid funding
poor,
from the
but
government are
whatever.
those who support welfare reform or who stay silent on about it. The court has denied that is unconstitutional. There was an effort to say any news outlet, public media company that gets federal funding has to refrain from editorializing about anything. The minute they try to editorialize about something, they lose their federal funding. The Supreme Court said that's unconstitutional as well. That's because once you offer a benefit, you can't then deny that benefit as punishment for a particular view. And it's so obvious that that has to be the principle. Just consider this hypothetical. The US government, or let's say a state government, opts to provide unemployment benefits to people who get fired, lose their job. Obviously, it doesn't have to provide unemployment benefits. It decides that it's going to. Imagine a law enacted by a state, say Massachusetts, that said, if you support Donald Trump or express support for the Republican Party, you will be ineligible to receive unemployment benefits. The only people eligible to receive unemployment benefits are those who take an oath to support the Democratic Party. Everybody would immediately understand why that's unconstitutional. And yet, you could justify that law based on the same distortion, the same warped rationale as is being offered for the Trump administration's actions this week, which is, oh, look, the government doesn't have to give you unemployment benefits, so you can't claim that it's a violation of your constitution if the government takes unemployment benefits away from you. And the obvious answer is the state has the right to terminate unemployment benefits programs for everybody if it wants, but it can't withdraw them or deny them as punishment for a particular view, nor can it condition receipt or the right to have those benefits on affirming a particular view. So the fact that federal funding is optional doesn't mean the government has the constitutional right to deny it to certain universities that allow a certain type of protest.
All right, let me pause that there. Me personally, once again, I try to work in the world of, principles, morals, shit like that. So, once again, whether it's constitutional or not, or a bunch of lawyers get into a room and circle jerk and argue about it, and a jury decides one way or another, or a judge decides one way or another, it's kind of irrelevant to me. It's relevant in the sense of how society will move around and shit like that, but it's kind of irrelevant to me in regards to right and wrong, because it's clear as day he's threatening funding because of protesting Israel, or maybe a version of protesting Israel. Most likely just being in protest in general, right? To me, that's clear as day wrong. And in fact, trying to strong arm people into your beliefs, right? Because maybe it won't change the students' ideas, right? The students that are protesting, maybe it doesn't change their idea, but if you kind of eliminate the idea off of college campuses and overall, then maybe a student wouldn't have the opportunity here. Wait a minute, there's different opinions on this particular topic, or this geopolitical topic, or anything like that. There's no different ideas. I guess we all just think Hamas is evil thing that Israel had to abolish, and that's the only way we'll think about it now. Let's be, because that's what happens with some of these sociological things. But whatever. The point is, I don't need, although I appreciate it, I don't need constitutional lawyers at all. I'll be like, oh, this is wrong. No effort needed. No books needed.
Let me
this is
counter
wrong.
that for you.
Good.
What if it's not protests, it's riots? Now can I defund this school?
I don't know why you would defund the school, because if they're just doing riots, and that's oh, you're kind of harming the school. Wouldn't that be the perception of it?
They have a perfect reason. Victoria Newland and Hillary Clinton they're assistant professors at Columbia. So yeah, there's a little bit of animosity there.
I get it lawfully, but I think the direction Dutcher's going, because that was the language, right? Illegal protests.
No, riots.
That was the language.
Are terrorism, so it opens the door to all of that.
Sure, that could happen. Sure.
My Democrats always got to start shit, bro. My Democrats always got to be all BLM and Antifa and bullshit.
I'm getting dumber
Why
again.
can't they just chill out and get a job?
Getting dumber again. It's crazy.
What I'm saying is,
it's not getting
all
dumber.
you got to do
get a fucking
is step
job,
in and
you won't have to be sitting. Ugh.
Okay.
Is change the topic from Israel to any of the fucking shit from the last 5 years, the BLM Antifa shit, and there's your argument, and you can win that argument all day, every day. But he's just not doing that.
Oh, saying this is about stopping BLM and Antifa.
Well, the communist teachers that are the progressive teachers that have propagandized the schools to where it led to riots.
Okay.
Hillary Clinton.
I understand once again the legal bullshit you're doing right now. I understand that.
Being looked into. This
and
is
I understand
problem.
Okay, Harrison. I understand the the legal bullshit that I fucking hate. I understand what the kind of devil's advocate you're playing with that. I understand that.
I'm intentionally playing devil's advocate because that's the obvious answer. You change this a little from the topic everybody's focused on because this is today's news versus the overall arching consideration of the same fucking schools: Mizzou, Columbia, Berkeley, Yale, Harvard.
I get that.
It's the same fucking schools.
I get that, but that's not my point. Once again, in fact, I just dismissed it. You're telling me like, oh, just don't believe what your eyes are seeing. That clearly, this is targeting people who are protesting Israel on their college campuses. Do you believe that? Do you believe that that's the human interaction that's happening? Fuck the law. Do you believe that that is the human interaction that is happening?
What?
That's college campuses that allow people to protest Israel. And in fact, they ramped it up because, let's be real, they recognize that that's what's being said here by this executive order. So, like, you recognize that's why they're out there, and that's why they're being arrested, banned, deported,
No, they're trying to push,
taking funding away.
Trump into a Kent State. They're trying to push Trump into a Kent State situation where he has to send in the National Guard, and he won't. He's just going to pull the funding. So that's better.
No. Trump. No. Hold on. Trump preemptively did this, Harrison. I hope you recognize that, right? He did this in his first administration. He's now enacting it now. Does that make sense? Before October 7th, he already had this going, right?
It's the same targets. It's teacher Bob blah 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 that was doing progressive shit for the last 20 years, and the same Berkeley student that's been there for fucking 10 years because they're idiots and they like wasting their parents' money.
What?
And they're just it's the commies. It's this whole ideology of just jumped onto, oh, this is the one good protest that is like legit. But what's really behind all of their shit is their Black Lives Matter, their Antifa, their communists.
So the point of this thing that he already made a deal about in his first administration, the whole point is not about Palestinian or Israel protests. That's not why he's taking. That has nothing to do with why he's taking funding. I asked you that. Like, do you think that okay? That is the case. Like, forget the law.
Wait,
like,
what?
with your own eyes, ears.
Say it again?
Okay, with your own eyes, ears, thoughts. When you look at it, it's the reason why he's taking funding from these guys is protesting Israel.
No.
You don't think so? What's the real point then?
No, it's because they are the propagandists in the schools. He's targeting Columbia. He's targeting Yale. He's targeting Harvard.
You're a fucking liar, bro.
Targeting
I think you're a
Berkeley.
fucking liar. Personally, I think you're a fucking liar. Personally, but you do your thing, man. I think you're lying. But go ahead, explain how it's a 5D chess way to get rid of communists or something like that. So
No, you're missing it. They don't give a fuck about Palestine. Palestine's just what people are willing to currently march about. But it's the same people from Black Lives Matter.
So why don't you just do it to
Feminism.
them? Why don't you just do it to them?
Because it's the same protesters are there. Do you think like Palestinians are really aligned with trannies? They're not. They're not.
Okay. This guy's a fucking idiot. Holy fucking shit. You are a dumb fuck. You're an actual dumb fuck, I think.
Do you think Palestine cares about black people? They don't.
Still better than the National Guard.
What?
Because
I'm wrecked, dude.
What was it, Johnson?
We know they've been protesting. That's why he already threatened it before. It was about BDS and anti-Israel sentiment. They were there already, Dubster. Do you realize he already wrote fucking policy about that when he was in office before?
Fucking money.
You guys are just subverting shit.
money
I think you're
away.
just fucking subverting shit. So I'm gonna move on with this video.
No,
Actually-
I'm not trying to like subvert anything. I'm not trying to change policy or anything like that. I'm just saying, if you're gonna do that stuff, and you're getting money from the government, that's wrong.
The schools don't want it, Harrison. Someone tell Harrison the
Can't be
schools aren't
stopping people
asking
from
for
going
this.
back.
It's students doing it. Dude, what are we?
It is
They-
Can't be stopping
schools.
people from going
It's
to
the
class
fucking
when they've already
teachers,
paid
bro.
Do you think Columbia was cracking down on us?
Loans, bro. These
Holy
people
fuck.
are on the hook for loans.
It's the
They gotta pay
teachers,
that shit
dude.
back. I don't care. Joe
Holy
Biden's
shit.
not in office anymore. These are people that have to pay this shit back, and yeah, they want to go to school.
Were
And they
schools
can't
cracking
because
down
of
on the
fucking
students
protesters,
protesting?
because of activists.
Were schools cracking down on students
The
protesting?
police were.
And all these
The
Were
police
schools
were.
cracking down?
to start.
Go look it up for me, please. I'm too dumb. You guys look it up for me. Were schools cracking down on students for protesting in certain ways, or maybe even certain topics? Was that happening?
Yes,
mean,
when
yeah.
forced to.
No, look
When
it up
Trump
and tell
sends
me.
in the
Read it to
National
me.
Guard, then when Trump
I
sends in the
already know
National
it.
Guard,
When
then you
forced
can
to.
bitch. We're
This
just
is
pulling
part of their
funny because
agenda.
you guys are dumbasses.
This is leftist agenda.
Spell leftist.
Leftist.
He actually did it. Anyways, I'm gonna move on with this video that I'm recording, because fuck. I mean, fuck, the IQ of the room just dipped. Fuck, maybe that's causing global warming. I don't know. Maybe the dumb fuckery is causing global warming, or the political agendas. I'm caught in between political agendas. This Jimmy fuckface, Taibbi, and you two fucking dumb fucks in my Discord. Like, no one's being real about shit.
I am being real, 100% fucking real, and you don't even know.
No, I understand that you don't understand. How about that?
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, what do you understand then? Say it.
I understand that this is a political war.
This is 5D chess, right? He's using Palestine as a launching point to take down the BLM far lefty commies, right? Did you not just say that or no?
All you want until George Soros.
He
George
is.
Soros
He shouldn't
disappears.
be. He should be using what they're really about.
Once George
What?
Soros disappears, you're gonna be singing a
The
different
Black
story.
Lives
now,
Matter,
aren't you?
Antifa, communist, leftist bullshit. That's what he should be talking about. But he's taking advantage since this is their current talking point.
So it is 5D chess.
They don't really give a fuck about Palestine. The actual people that care about Palestine aren't out there fucking doing this because they're in the way of actual fucking real shit to happen positive for fucking Palestine.
Like what?
Like what?
Like what?
Getting fucking Palestine back to the Palestinians.
Nah, but you're putting
Wait, that's gonna happen, Dubster? How?
Putting your mouth up, sir, because they
It's
have
not
no
with
bearing.
not with leftists out there protesting for Palestine because leftists fuck everything up.
What does that have to do with Trump helping giving Israel aid, though? You're telling me Trump's giving them more aid because the leftists are yapping about that? Is that your point?
No, they're fucking turning it into a spectacle instead of something real.
So is
Like
he.
what? What's the real thing that's gonna happen if these college kids shut up? What's the real thing that's gonna happen, Dubster? If they shut up and be like, don't pretend Palestine doesn't exist, everyone. Let's get out of the way and let the guy do his thing. What's gonna happen? Tell me. Report the news to me, Dubster.
What'd you say? If Palestine isn't real?
If these protesters say, okay, guys, imagine Palestine does not exist. Let's stop protesting. Let's go back to our college life and ignore that issue is happening. You're saying
That's
they're
not
making it
what
worse.
I'm fucking talking about.
You said they're making it worse.
What I'm saying,
You just said that.
yes,
All those
because
fucking elected.
because
And
they're
all those
making a
faggots
political.
went to Egypt.
It is a political side that is out.
Activists
There's two.
suck.
There's people on both sides of the
I'm gonna hear something really dumb,
politics,
ain't I?
right?
Okay.
Republican and Democrat. That
No, that's not how
believe
life works,
that
but
what-
sure, you can say politics. Fine. Even though that's not true either, but you could say, like, oh, there's Republican and then there's Democrat, like a fucking kindergarten. But go ahead, please, finish your point. Sorry.
there are people on both sides of the political aisle, Republican and Democrat, that believe Palestine is in the right and Israel is in the wrong.
Okay?
But the protests have formed politically only on one side, to where if you don't agree with this other side on these other
I don't think that's true either,
issues,
be real with you, but go ahead.
okay, you can not believe it all you want.
Yeah, so
Fucking
there's
been
no people who
videotaped.
voted Republican that are at these protests. I'm sure that's true, Dubster. I don't believe that, but you know more, so please keep going.
Okay, It's been videotaped and confirmed. If you're not a leftist, you're not welcome
Okay.
at these protests.
Regardless, what does that have to do with Palestine? It's once again, pretend they don't exist. Like if these guys said we're done protesting, we're done, we're a distraction, we're fucking things up with our protests, we're done. What is the result?
Actual shit can be achieved.
Like
for
what?
Palestinians.
Like what?
Like getting their home back.
How?
Kicking the
How?
invaders out.
How?
Kicking the invaders out.
What is so these college kids are stopping that from happening right now?
Yes.
How?
Because they have.
Is Trump
taken
too dumb?
over
Is he
the
like, oh
conversation.
fuck, I'm distracted by the kids over there. Oh fuck, I can't deal with this issue right now. I'm distracted by these college kids. Fuck. I can't help it. I'm so distracted. I have to take funding from them. Oh fuck. I'm so distracted.
Trump's already made up his mind. He's going to support Israel no matter what you guys do. So,
Right.
What
but
you guys
as far
do.
as the fucking activists,
Dumb
they
fucks
got
again.
to go because they're assholes.
But-
They're keeping kids from going to class, and that's pain in my ass. I want them to
They're-
get their
they're-
educations.
They're
Okay.
devolving the conversation by doing shit.
What?
Making the conversation political instead of humanitarian, instead of realistic, instead of what's really going on. It's about the party
I-
says this.
Am I wrong
all
calling this guy a
those-
dumbass? Am I wrong calling this guy a fucking dumbass?
No.
Am I wrong for
But
that?
it's like, hey,
Look what he's
Desperate,
fucking saying.
if they didn't protest and did nothing, would Trump not go forward with what he's doing now?
What could he go forward about? He's going to tell me I can't have an intellectual conversation over a phone call or on videotape. He can't censor that. Not
To support
really.
Israel,
What?
no matter what.
No,
It
but
does
it's also
not
the
matter.
bigger picture,
What?
Doctor. It's also the bigger picture of policies he's making to end the fucking
No, the kids
Palestinian
trying to get to fucking school, man. Get your education
Kids gonna
on.
get to
They're
school.
paying big bucks for that. Columbia is not a cheap university, bro.
And no school's cheap nowadays. But... Fuck. I think you short circuited right there. I'm wrecked. I mean, well, hey, you know what? Listen. Any protesters out there, stop protesting, bro. You're distracting Trump. He could be fixing Palestine right now, but you're distracting him. So get out of his way. And then things will get fixed and he'll return the land to the people that deserve it. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, let's continue on with this video. It's 8 minutes left. Hopefully we make it through without the IQ dropping another 30 points. Here we go.
This is all independent of by the way, of the creepy phrase that Trump officials, that President Trump used to justify.
Oh,
his
sorry.
attack.
At a point that got subverted. I was saying like, oh, it should be about trying to do the right thing. Just, ask yourself, what are my principles? And, I understand the legal jargon aspect of it. Like, sure, do that too because that's what society accepts. I understand that. Fair enough. But as far as like, what are your eyes seeing of things? It looks like something not right is happening. Regardless if they can make an actual legal argument of why they should be able to do what they're doing. It just looks like it's not right, personally. But then again, I'm just a human. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. But I do respect the idea of using the Constitution lawyer shit. Okay, fine, fair enough. But at the end of the day, I think as humans, we need to deal in like, what are our principles? Do we agree with this or think it's wrong? Like, what do we do? I think that's the bigger question. But then again, I'm waiting for aliens. Here we go.
To serve pro-Israel donors, which is, we're just going after illegal protests. What is it?
Pussy run? He ran, didn't he? Okay.
Obviously, if somebody breaks the law, they're going to get arrested. There have been hundreds or thousands of protesters on college campuses throughout 2024, including huge numbers of Jewish students who were protesting the Israeli war in Gaza. They got arrested. But there's such thing as an illegal protest. And if you're going to deny federal funding based on quote unquote permitting an illegal protest, you can't just have that be the case for hate speech against Jews or hate speech against Israel. It would have to be applied universally. Otherwise, it's clearly unconstitutional as an attempt to punish institutions for permitting a certain kind of protest expressing a view that this current government dislikes. This is not controversial. This is not in dispute. It's entirely clear. There are multiple Supreme Court cases on it. Just common sense tells you that you can't condition the receipt of a benefit on the requirement to affirm a certain view, nor can you withdraw that benefit as punishment for expressing another view consistent with the First Amendment.
So, I remember when I was at the Rescue the Republic.
Duh. And the guy only cares about the morals. Like, yeah, that looks wrong. But I get it, the legal stuff. Yeah.
By the way, I mean, I'm sure everybody.
There's a lot of
would
dumb fucks that
agree
won't understand
with
unless you
what
put
he's
it in legal
saying. I don't
writing.
think, like he said, it's not
I get it.
controversial. And you pointed out that this is a real blind spot for the Trump administration.
That's not a blind spot.
I don't know if it's a blind spot or it's just him
Thank you.
intentionally serving his donors and the APEC lobby, because the APEC lobby has the ability to, make him lose his control of the Senate and the House, right? So
I don't know if I agree with that assessment either, personally, because they've been talking about they get paid money. Like, just be scientific about it. This guy takes money from billionaires, right? But then you have people who don't do that, and you still cry about these people, Jimmy. So, fair enough as far as, like, why, like, what's Trump's motives behind it? I wish we fucking knew. I don't know. I maybe have a bigger conspiracy mindset about it than Jimmy does, but he does recognize, at the very least, that isn't some, like, oh, I made a oopsie, I took federal funding from particular schools that particularly allow these, or maybe not even allow to protest. Maybe the students just do it anyways because that's what maybe protesting is. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I don't think it's it's a lack of. It's just they're just blind to it. They don't understand what's going on. I don't think that's it. Did you want to say something,
Nobody
Jesse?
has better dirt on Trump. Nobody, only the best dirt.
I was like, yeah, this is not some blind spot by the Trump administration. This is, like I said, worked on since his first administration. Before, there definitely was, protests and riots. I don't mix them together and say they're the same thing like a lot of dumb fucks do because they watch other dumb fucks talking about it. I'm sure there's people there that are like perfectly peaceful and want to just wave signs and say chants. Then there's other motherfuckers, some of which are provocateurs that want to break and smash buildings and shit like that, and then kind of escalate things. Like I'm not gonna just mix them together automatically. Just like I wouldn't mix. I don't know where I was going with that one, but whatever. The point is, let's start getting real about this shit. And he oopsied, right? Or like Dubster was saying, it's 5D chess to fix the universe. He's trying to save the universe by 5D. See, the real thing was to take down the BLM protesters, but he couldn't do that when he was in office the first time. So now, and he can't do it now, even when these fools are still out there around there, like protesting and shit like that, or Antifa. They still exist. He can't take them down that way. So he's going to wait for these guys to start supporting Palestine or something, or protesting against Israel. Now all of a sudden, I have the legal room to take the far leftist Antifas out. Like, that's some convoluted, shitty storytelling, but Dubster believes it somehow. Congrats to him for believing that. That takes a lot of imagination and effort. I think it's bad writing, but make it your own. I guess it works for you. Here we go.
Him intentionally serving his donors and the APEC lobby, because the APEC lobby has the ability to, make him lose his control of the Senate and the House, right? So he's serving, as Bob Dylan said, you got to serve somebody, and so that's who he's serving. I think he's doing it consciously, and I think he knows it's a.
Isn't Bob Dylan on the Israel side of things?
But when I was at the Rescue the Republic, and you make the point, it's politically
these people are hilarious to me,
I think, for Donald Trump to do this. It would make him look like much a stronger man if he allowed the protests to happen and just kind of make fun of it if he wants, or kind of point out how it's un-American or how they don't, whatever you want to do.
Oh, okay, because someone told me about this too. It's where like we have to appeal to his narcissism to get, like, he'll do the right thing because it'll make him so popular and loved, and that's all he wants. He just wants to be loved by people. So we need to give him adulation in a different direction. Like, and then like someone like Jimmy should be like remind Donald Trump, like, oh, listen, remember what you're here for. You're here to like make yourself feel good about yourself, right? So like, do the right thing here, and we'll cheer you on for it. That's how we can, push him to our directions. We can move Trump to the left. We can't do it with Biden, but Trump, we can move to the left by congratulating him on things we like, I guess, because he's a narcissist and he has no agendas, no other ideas, no thoughts for himself. He just wants to be loved. That is it. So let's move the fool to the left by doing this or that. I love this.
He was a Democrat for most of his life, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Just fucking give him a round of applause when he doesn't, massacre some area in the world. Like, yeah, you didn't kill them. Good job. Like,
Yeah,
whoa.
that doesn't happen because he didn't start any new wars. But you war sluts did. You war sluts really do want fucking war with Russia. I can see it in the news. I can see it after that fucking address.
Yeah,
You
war.
guys
Russia's the only
really
country
want
in the
war.
world. Yeah,
You guys
that's
want
true.
to get in bed with the fucking European Union and just fucking blow Russia up.
Who's you
That's
guys?
Yeah, man.
fucking idea.
Well, Harrison is an ignoramus on foreign policy because the only country,
You're an ignorant.
the only other country
No.
that exists on planet Earth apparently is Russia. It's us and Russia, the only countries that exist. Because if you start a war anywhere else, it doesn't
Yes,
count, right?
exactly. It is.
It doesn't count.
It is actually us and Russia because right now they almost have as many cards as we do.
Cards, you mean nukes? Guess what? A bunch of countries have nuclear capabilities. Not just
I'm not gonna
Russia.
play down Russia. I'm not gonna play down Russia because what do you got, Zelensky? What's he gonna fucking do? Snort coke?
I wish that was a real I don't know how to respond to that.
They're gonna kill fucking Zelensky. You know that, right?
They're probably gonna oust
murder
him.
his ass.
I think they'll be nicer
They're
and
gonna
oust
throw
him.
They're gonna fucking throw him out of a window because he's a fucking American puppet.
Well, America doesn't roll like that. Could happen for sure, but
Yes,
it's more
they do.
likely that they just support the guy who runs against them, that's been U.S. policy all over the
There's
world
gonna
for a
be
long
fucking
time. But
Russian
people
agent
didn't
that
realize it
goes,
till
Zelensky-
Ukraine, Russia. Apparently,
Zelensky's dead, bro. It's over.
he might not die.
Zelensky is fucked.
He might not die. People said that about
France
Assad.
is
Assad
fucked.
didn't die. He made it out.
And Germany can go fuck itself because they're being stupid right now.
Well, they said about Assad. Assad made it out, and he was in a much more, I think, shitty situation than Zelensky is. And Assad made it out of the country.
Yeah. and
Gaddafi
it's a
didn't. He
tiny
did not make it. But that
micro kind of situation, Muslim West. Nobody gives a shit about that country because it's a goddamn desert.
the shit that happened to in Libya. That's what's happening in Syria. Like, except Assad made it out before that happened. Because let's be real, the U.S.,
Yeah,
Russia, Israel, Egypt, or Turkey, these countries made a deal, and they told Assad about it, and they gave him asylum. That's why he escaped. Otherwise, he would have got Gaddafi too.
well, he's probably doing eye surgery in Britain right now because that's where he came from. Blammo.
Okay. Holy fuck. But yeah. Was that an attempt to make Trump an anti-war? Whatever. People keep doing that shit all the time. He hasn't started any new wars. Like, Obama didn't either then. By your standard, Obama never started a new war.
Obama's an asshole. He fucking.
Well, he didn't start any new wars either, bro. He's a pro-peace president.
Afghanistan's a piece of shit nigger. Kiss my ass.
Holy shit. Obama didn't start any new wars. So, like, him and Trump are the same on foreign policy.
Wars, bro.
What wars did he start?
Obama blew up people. Obama blew up lots of people.
So did Trump doubled them in like 2 years.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did actually. And then he stopped counting He stopped counting. No.
Khomeini doesn't count.
No. He doubled his innocent civilian death toll, and then he stopped counting. He made a rule to stop counting how many innocent civilians they kill.
Americans in America. He's a dick. Get off of your high
All
horse, bro.
All right, you're trolling because you haven't. I don't even care about these topics,
He's kind of
and you probably don't know about them either. So I'm just gonna let you shoot in the
totally
breeze, I guess.
Yeah, you lick my nuts.
But nuts. Anyways,
My
And I think
balls.
he knows it's a contradiction
the dude
to his
taints,
free
bro.
speech stance.
Sorry.
But when I was at the rescue, and you make the point, it's politically disastrous, I think, for Donald Trump to do this. It would make him look like much a stronger man if he allowed protests to
Who
happen.
says it looks like much a
and
stronger
just kind of
man?
make fun of it if he wants, or kind of point out how it's un-American, or how they don't, whatever you want to do. But he should tolerate it because it makes him look weak and authoritarian, because that's what it is. And when I was at the Rescue the Republic, I made a strong defense of, you have to,
God.
freedom of speech means freedom of speech that you hate,
This
and
tiny
it
leftist
includes
worm.
pro-Palestinian protesters,
Mhm.
because
I
if
just
they can
want
take
to
the
punch
rights
him in the
of
face.
them away, they can take ours away.
Who?
And that's what this is all about. We're all here because we had our freedom of
Dore.
speech taken away
Jimmy
during
Dore?
COVID or
You are not punching this old man, bro. I think I would take the punch for him,
Let's
bro. I'd
fucking
step in.
punch that old man in the face.
I'd
I'm gonna
step in front
fucking
of it.
punch him in the gut.
He might die if you
I'm
punched
gonna
him,
take
bro.
his woman.
This old
I'm
man.
gonna take his woman.
Punch him in the belly and step on his feet.
You heard him, Steph Zamorano. He's out for you. Yeah. All right, whatever. Here we go.
or another way, and people cheered. And so that was Donald Trump's audience. They cheered that, right? And I saw people in the audience, lots of MAGA people who are pro-Palestine or not pro-Israel. They had, pro-Palestine posters in their hands at that Rescue the Republic rally. So, I mean, do you see? I mean, I see this as, how do you see this playing out?
Well, I've given up a long time ago trying to figure out Trump's political strategies.
Okay. How long has Trump been around in politics? 12 years? Maybe a little longer? As far as like running for
Officially?
office? Right?
Running for
That's
office.
2011. He wanted Barack Obama's birth certificate back in 2011. So
I know.
I believe it started.
But
then.
like where he's like,
2000.
I'm officially running and campaigning, right? Where I have to figure out his policy, right?
Because
He was-
technically Barack
like
Obama
13
does
years?
not have an official birth certificate, and they made it up. and
Okay,
they printed
you're
it out,
subverting again.
and,
I'm asking 13,
think
14
2000.
years. No. Actually, I'm in off. Like I'm running. I have policies that people can examine, so that Matt Taibbi here can figure it out.
Oh,
That's
that
what I
goes
meant.
back in the 90s. The policies go back like
He ran for office.
well into the 90s. For his policies, like he even back in Reagan, that's in the 80s. He would he was very vocal about his policies.
No. I mean, like I'm officially running, and here's the policies I'm going to do as I'm running. That is not that long. Sorry,
I think
like
in the 2000s he had,
then you're
he was
saying
doing
like
exploratory.
okay,
He was doing exploratory for president.
okay, then you can say I have policies then that you can examine. But that's not the same thing as me. Like I'm officially running for office, and here's my stated policies. Right? That's way different.
Yeah,
It could just be
he
it
didn't
should be
have
some guy on Twitter's opinion, right? Is not. There's the policy. Like I don't think so, right? Versus like an official platform of this.
I don't believe that Jimmy Dore has been
The
brought
point
in front
is-
of Congress before to testify.
But when I say back in the 80s, he published what do you call it, political policy, like actual policies. So, like I would do this, like he was telling
That's
Reagan
fair
like,
enough,
what
but
he should
he's-
do. Basically.
That's fair enough. He did
So,
with Obama too, but he wasn't running.
Okay.
Right? I'm saying
he
like
wasn't running.
where a journalist is like, I'm combing over the potential next president's policy, right? Like that's within the
Yeah.
last 12, 13, 14 years, right? Where he campaigned, did the Republican primary, then ran for blah, 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 right? So I'm like,
Yep.
Matt Taibbi saying like, well, man, I've just given up on, like, that hasn't been that long, Matt Taibbi. I've given up trying to understand what Trump's going, what he's doing with this or that. Like, it's not that long. Why'd you give up? I don't understand that. Because he's saying that. Like, that doesn't make sense. It's almost like, were you made to give up? Like, what's going on here? Because he's been saying some weird shit, bro. Weird ass, like, are you okay, man? Type shit. But, all right, here we go.
Do you see? I mean, I see this as, how do you see this playing out?
Well, I've given up a long time ago trying to figure out Trump's political strategies.
He's only had
Every
4
time I
years
think
in.
he does
He's only had
something that is
5 years in
politically
office, Matt.
disastrous that he'll never recover from.
Officially in office, only like 4 and a little bit more. 4 and a little bit more years. That's it. He hasn't been here for 20 fucking plus years, working in the Senate, then as a governor, then as a mayor of New York, then this and that. Like just little over 4 years as a president, as far as where he's actually like legally signing legislation and shit like that, right?
You can't be patriotic at all because you want Hillary fucking Clinton to be president. So whatever.
Me or Matt? What are you talking about?
You're a leftist.
Yeah, I want Hillary to win.
Yeah, well, she fucking sucks. So
Damn, man. I kind of
And
agree with you,
she's a
but I want her
criminal.
to win, you know? See, the funny thing, like,
prove it again. I want you to take Trump back to court and see what happens. You fucking liberals.
oh, if I verbally argued Donald Trump, he'd be wrecked. Because there's plenty of questions he cannot answer.
Good on me.
Well, you're trolling, so it doesn't count, but whatever. It's good practice. Right? It's good practice. I am the devil. No, you're not. You're practice. Beats the fuck out of him. Anyways. So, okay, you have like a little over 4 years of content to cover there, Matt Taibbi. In regards to like, here's his policy that he can get his hands on and sign and all that shit and move around and veto or whatever the fuck. And it's like, you gave up already? God damn. I'm done trying to figure this guy out. Why? But that was supposed to be like a little side note until I got subverted again. Whatever, here we go.
Well, I've given up a long time ago trying to figure out Trump's political strategies. Every time I think he does something that is politically disastrous that he'll never recover from, somehow it works out in a way that's different than I expected.
It works out with fans that will turn their brains off or are full of shit in the first place and will dick ride whatever the fuck he does. It works for them, but like thinking people or quote unquote journalists, Matt Taibbi, you're supposed to be like critical of like wait a minute, you just did something really horrible, but everyone's letting you get away with it.
Those you sent in for Biden during the pandemic. I'm gonna fucking set an investigation on your ass.
I think Biden would beat the fuck out of Harrison. I really do believe that. The weakest man on earth would beat the shit out of Harrison.
Oh, you guys fucking cheated your asses off. How else did we get a fucking poop monster in the White House? Who did that? It was you guys.
What the fuck is a
I
poop
think you
monster?
guys cheated.
How
I
dare
think
you.
you guys cheated a lot.
I mean,
And I think it's being looked into right now. I think
I tried to.
Patel
I
fuck
tried.
you up.
I tried to
I
get him.
think Cash Patel and Pam Bondi's gonna fuck you up, bro.
Listen, Cash
what
is
you're gonna get.
5'3". He ain't
Ooh,
doing shit.
ooh, ooh. Well, it's about time because you guys motherfucking stole an election.
Harrison, I need you to stop because people are
you shut up.
peop-
No.
people are gonna think I hired you to be like a dummy for me to beat up.
To vote for fucking Biden.
People are gonna think you're a ringer I hired for me to beat you up and shit, like a paid actor for me to beat the shit out of.
Beat me up, bro. I'm telling you right now, that's bullshit, and you know it's bullshit because Joe Biden should not have been president, and that's stupid. That's a bad move. Everybody knows it. Nancy Pelosi knows it. Chuck Schumer knows it. What's that skinny neck freak's name? What's his name?
Skinny guy, Newsom.
Yeah, he knows it too. You guys are getting looked into.
I call him Pat
because you
Riley.
cheated an election.
Well, whoever Harrison's talking to, stop cheating at elections, guys.
Yeah, you better stop because we're coming after you.
That's a major
cheaters.
pause. Major pause.
Yeah, it's not a minute. No, it's not. We're coming. We got guys in charge right now gonna put you in jail.
We're coming and you're gonna feel it.
Well, it's time because damn, you did it to us.
I'm hitting play now. Here we go.
I think he does something that is politically disastrous that he'll never recover from. Somehow it works out in a way that's different than I expected. I do feel very strongly that they should not be punting away the good the good standing they've gotten on the speech issue. they've fought hard
On what?
to be taken seriously on that issue, and people like Jim Jordan and
Where?
Paul have
Those aren't
gone through
Trump.
a lot of grief for the Republican Party to be taken seriously on this issue, just to throw it away on this, and I can't. I find it.
Is he okay? Yo, is Matt Taibbi okay, bro? Am I tripping, or does he just not sound right? I don't know. Does he sound different than he used to? Maybe I'm just mentally writing over what already happened.
No, he's high as fuck. He doesn't care because they've already been paid.
He's just sounding
That's what
weird.
you get
Like
to do. That's what you get to do when you're an independent journalist.
it's. It seems like he's like cleaning and scrubbing his own words for the sake of who the fuck knows what. But whatever. Here we go.
Hard to believe that this is a calculation that's meant to guarantee control of the House and Senate. Trump, I think, has always understood that his support is really his voters. That's his base. So if he's making that calculation, it's a wrong.
What? That's every fucking politician, bro. Your voters are. You think about it, your voters are. Your base. Like, duh. The fuck are you? What's he saying with that? What's he trying to say? Is he okay, bro? Is Matt Taibbi okay, bro?
His support is really his voters. That's his base. So if he's making that calculation, it's a wrong calculation.
Okay, trying to appease those guys.
Sometimes he will do things like this. It seems to me in defiance of the law openly, because he wants people to see that he's willing to cross a line.
It's 5D chess. Oh fuck! It's 5D chess.
I got something I need to say.
It's 5D chess.
To protect himself because in 4 years there might be somebody else's president.
No, this is open support of Trump. This is open support of Trump.
He doesn't want to go to jail.
This is open support of Trump.
He doesn't want to go to jail.
This is open support of Trump.
He supports Trump.
He's essentially saying it.
I think he takes the.
He just said 5D chess. He just said 5D chess. He just said what Dubster said. Him and Dubster have the same opinion.
He can get to write a story.
Okay.
Be it on X.
Well, the biggest check is supporting Trump, isn't that? That's been proven of lately.
I don't think he is. I think
he's covering for him.
Look at him. He's got like.
I'm not calling him a Trump voter. I'm saying like he's doing the Tim Pool, the early day Tim Pool shit, where it's like it makes you like, damn, is he a Democrat? But he's always been voting Democrat, so like he must be a Democrat. But he's like giving this like tacit support for MAGA and just siphoning. Maybe that's it. He's siphoning fans from them. Maybe.
Well, he's trying to save himself from going to jail because you guys did it to a lot of our side last time. So there you go.
Like who?
Roger Stone, Steve Bannon, a lot of guys.
Those guys are in jail?
Not anymore.
I thought Assange went to jail. Is he on your team too?
Who, Assange?
Yeah.
No, he's Australian, bro. He has no oath to America. He can say whatever the fuck he wants.
No, but Trump Trump colluded in a way to get him arrested.
Probably. They also want Snowden, but he ain't coming back.
I'm moving on. There we go. He's not a paid actor, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you, he's not a paid actor.
But there are times when he will do that. But otherwise, this is illogical to me, and I think it's a perilous thing for the party. Like, the other stuff that he's doing in terms of these mass cuts and these other drastic changes that he's making, some of which are probably not going to survive legal challenge. He needs the absolute support of his voters in order to see that through. And if it falls,
he doesn't need votes anymore.
Something like this,
he's already I know.
There's a problem. Then he's got nobody but himself to blame.
Maybe the midterms, maybe.
And just to put a button on this, Fire says
maybe that's what he's talking about. Like he loses Congress, whatever the fuck. I don't even know who controls the House or Congress anymore, bro. To be real with you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a reason what he's talking about. But like for this, bullish executive order shit, you don't need Congress for that, right? The thing is, it would just change over the next president if they wanted to rechange that around.
And didn't he have both House and Senate at some point?
I
he did.
think so.
Yeah.
So I remember someone bringing it up as a point, like Obama had the same thing and did
Obama
nothing,
also- yeah.
and did nothing with it, and then
Obama definitely had that. Yeah.
yeah, okay. But like Jimmy just, I don't know. He's like he's sitting there just hearing like this lukewarm take from Matt. He's like, "Aren't you pissed, Matt?" Like slam the desk. Jimmy, like, "Aren't you fucking pissed though? Like a real man, bro. Are you pissed? Like maybe you tacitly supported this guy or whatever the fuck, or you had high hopes, or you said, what if?" But now he's not. He's doing something like clear as day wrong. Aren't you pissed off, man? What's up? That's what it looks like Jimmy wants to say, but can't say it. So he just looks like a Muppet frowning. There we go.
Self to blame, I would say.
And just to put a button on this, Fire says if college violates
Fire. Where's the fire at?
Anti-discrimination laws like Title VI
Where's
or
the fire
Title
at, Jimmy?
IX, the government may ultimately deny the institution federal funding by taking it to federal court or via notice to Congress and an administrative hearing. It is not simply a discretionary decision that the president can make. Likewise, students who engage in misconduct must still receive due process, whether through a campus or criminal tribunal. This requires
Just
fair,
weird. Does Jimmy seem
consistent
like he's tired of
application
doing
of
that?
existing law and policy in a manner that respects students'
I
rights.
think it's the
President
topic,
Trump
to
needs to
be
stand
real
by
with
his
it.
past
Topic.
promise
Okay.
Well,
to be a champion.
Could be.
I think it's a topic, but I think it's Matt Taibbi not giving him what he wants to hear. Like he wants to hear Matt Taibbi like, well, this is absolutely criminal, and like when he was watching Glenn Greenwald, he was like, yeah, he's like engaged in it, right, and invested in it.
Mhm.
And Matt Taibbi just fucking smushed the fire out, and Jimmy just like, fuck. So, all right, Matt. Anyways, here's Fire with their tweets over here. He's just not into it. It's like, I don't know. If you're gonna give a bunch of shit to fucking Rachel Maddow, who was also screaming about the crimes of the Bush era and yada yada yada, it's like Matt Taibbi's from that time period, right? More so with the financial crisis, right, or housing bubble thing. I think is when he rose to fame. Whatever. Go ahead,
This fire tweet is right over where Matt's face was, right?
Jim. All right, here we go.
Requires fair, consistent application of existing law or policy in a manner that respects students' rights. President Trump needs to stand by his past promise to be a champion of free expression. That means for all views, including those his administration dislikes. So, we'd like to see that. It's I haven't seen anybody do it in my lifetime, and the problem is that the opposition party agrees with what he's doing and saying, and so there will be no,
Except, as I've shown, there are people who don't agree with that he can't give credit to. But if Trump does something good, he's going to give him credit. Maybe it's Jimmy. Jimmy just has a better understanding of these people's psychology or something, where he's like, okay, when Trump does something good, you have to praise him so that he keeps going the same direction, right? Like, oh, he's such a narcissist. He just wants to be praised. So I'll give him the psychological kudos and endorphins to get him to keep moving in a direction. But if let's say Ilhan Omar is like, wait a minute, this is fucking up the Constitution and free speech and First Amendment and yada yada yada, you can't even mention her. But then again, wouldn't it be dishonest on you to say like, no one on this side is saying anything about this? Like, I just went to a random tweet, and they are saying something about it, but you maybe the video's old and they haven't said anything. I don't know. That could be fair. Like maybe they didn't say anything at the time he recorded this video. But something tells me he's not going to open his fucking mouth about it. And it's like, damn, that's kind of dishonest. Because if you called everyone corrupt, and you're like, even if they say something good, I'm like, I'm questioning it. I'd be fair. I'd say fair enough. But something tells me if Trump goes up there and says, I'm going to cut the military budget in half, I'm going to cut it by 50%. Like, look what Trump's doing. Biden never did that. Something tells me you'd do that, Jimmy. and which comes off as you're playing strategy and you're going to kick yourself in the ass, basically. For people like me who think and shit. Fanboys and fangirls, you'll be fine, but do you really want a bunch of dweebs around you? Or do you want to question things that happen around you, regardless if you're random, you're Joe Blow 947 on YouTube, or if you're President Donald Trump, or leader of the squad AOC, or President Joe Biden. Like, no matter where you are, who you are, if I think it's wrong, I'm going to say it. Don't you want to be that guy? I know you try to market yourself that way, but don't you want to actually be that guy, Jimmy? We will wait. And that's what I think a lot of even his lefty-leaning fans are doing with Jimmy Dore. They're doing for Jimmy what Jimmy's possibly doing for Trump, or maybe not even for Trump. Maybe for Matt Taibbi, who's doing it for Trump. Where it's like, damn, we're just degrees of sucklings now, different degrees of sucklings instead of real thinking people. The audience protects Jimmy, who protects Matt, who protects Trump. Who's winning in that scenario? Not the moral thing you people claim to be about, bro. That's not winning. I'll tell you that right now. But whatever, here we go.
Powerful
Trickle me
opposition
down.
to it, except grassroots, right?
Right, and not everybody in the world is a First Amendment lawyer, right? So the nice
It's not needed.
This particular
Not needed.
branch of First Amendment law can get pretty weedsy for some folks, and it extends into places where even sometimes I roll my eyes at it. Like, for instance, the business with the AP credentials, that falls under the same principle. If you're going to give credentials to anybody, you have to you can't deny them because AP doesn't use the words Gulf of America. Now, I don't think credentials matter. I think journalists who whine about credentials are pussies, and I find the whole issue kind of laughable. But if they took it to court, AP would win. I think you'd have to concede that. But I don't see that as a crime against humanity. But on the other stuff, denying federal funding to colleges over Palestinian protests, you can't do that, because that will undermine any claim that he has to being a champion of the First Amendment.
Come see us do stand-up in Baltimore.
It will deny any claim that. But he already established he's not that. Am I correct? So, the fall off for Trump is not being considered a free speech champion. Is that the actual fall? I thought it'd be like, yo, that's corrupt to do that. I'm yo, that's corrupt. But Taibbi puts it in the context of, well, that's not good, and, you'll be looked at as not a free speech champion. Well, he never was, I don't think he was ever going for that, except when he's campaigning. Yeah, when he's trying to win the presidency, he'll say words in order to get elected to look like he's a free speech champion, just like every other fucking president has done. But he had 4 years in office, and he showcased, yo, I want this done. I want to take federal funding from schools if they protest Israel a certain way. He has done it already. He's done the speeches. He's done the White House visits. He's done the auditorium on the podium shit. He's had Alan Dershowitz argue on his behalf in regards to this. He's like, I want to sign an executive order for. I think he signed it too, by the way. But no one. I don't think it was as harshly looked at because October 7th didn't happen yet. And now that happened, and we need to shovel unlimited amounts of money apparently to Israel, now it's a problem. Thus, now he's authorized. Okay, please do your job. Take these fools out. Stop them from protesting. Or in reality, it's just a 5D chess move to secretly take down Antifa and the Black Lives Matter movement. And you're like, you know what? We want to get these guys that are doing this, outside of their colleges. They're doing it in regular life, right? The riots and stuff. That wasn't on a college campus. That was at Walmart and shit like that, right? But in order to really stop the seed of the problem is get to the kids first. So what we got to do is go to colleges and make sure no one protests a certain way. And get them out of here. You know what I'm saying? Arrest them, deport them, expel them. Yada, yada, yada. I'll just use the Israel thing as an excuse to do that. because it's 5D chess, and I thought about it. Yeah, I used my thinking and intelligence to come up with that conclusion. 5D chess. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment if you feel like. Agree, disagree. Let it be known. As you can see, I let buttheads talk in here all day and night. They get wrecked, but they're allowed to talk, at least. So maybe I'm the real free speech advocate. Granted, I wreck their shit every time they fucking open their dumb fucking faces. But, you know, it is what it is. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Do it! Help them share it! Do it! And of course, and most obviously, give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in.